we are moving on to the last topic of this chapter. This chapter is all about cash book and its types. First we discussed simple or single column, then double column. The next is petty cash book. Petty cash book means you give the heading petty cash book, the cash book which is used for recording petty expenses. Now what is petty expenses? Petty expenses means expenses which involve very less amount, that is called miscellaneous expenses. So cash book in which we will be recording expenses like stationery, postage, refreshments given to customers, conveyance, all these involve very less amount and these will be separately posted in a book called petty cash book. Then we have two systems under which we can maintain petty cash book, and petty cash book is maintained by petty cashier, and there are two methods in which he can maintain that. So one method is called, you give the heading, first you write the meaning of petty cash book and it is maintained by the petty cashier, all those you write, then you give the heading systems of petty cash. Give the heading as systems of petty cash and you write the first heading simple system of petty cash. Simple system of petty cash. Okay, simple system means the petty cashier will be maintaining the book, he will be spending all these amounts. So petty cashier will be given an exact amount or an appropriate amount for making the payments. Appropriate or exact amount will be given to the petty cashier by the main cashier so that he can spend this amount for that particular period given. That means all the petty expenses he can meet using this amount, and this will be the correct amount. Suppose they estimated, this is not an estimation, they found that the petty expenses for the period is rupees 10,000. 10,000 will be given to the petty cashier. During the period for 1 month or 2 months, he will spend this amount. Then he will submit the petty cash book to the head cashier at the end of 1 or 2 months. Okay, this is happening under simple system of petty cash book. Appropriate or the actual amount is given to petty cashier. He is spending the amount that is given to him. Will there be any balance? No, because that is the correct amount given to him. Then at the end of the period, he will submit the petty cash. He will submit the petty cash book to the head cashier. This is what happening under simple system of petty cash book. The next heading what you have to write is impressed system of petty cash. First one was simple system. This is impressed system of petty cash. Okay, impressed system means the petty cashier will be given an advance amount in the beginning. Advance amount means it will be only an estimated amount. It will not be the accurate amount. It will be only an estimated amount given to the petty cashier in the beginning of the period. The period can be, sometimes it can be for 1 week, sometimes it can be for 2 weeks, that is fortnight, sometimes it can be for 1 month. Okay, so an estimated amount is given or advance is given to whom? To the petty cashier in the beginning of the period. That period I already told you, it can be a week, fortnight or a month. In the beginning of the period it will be given by the main cashier. Now during the month what happens? He will spend the amount during the period. Suppose he was given 20,000 in the beginning. During the period he spent 14,000. Now there is a balance of 6,000 which will be reimbursed to him. To him means to the petty cashier by whom? By the main cashier. So what is happening here? in the beginning of the period, I mean in the beginning of the month, the petty cashier was given rupees 20,000 as an advance amount, as an estimated amount by the main cashier. During the period, he will spend the amount, it is not an accurate amount like in the simple system, this is only an estimated amount. So, he spent only 14,000. Still the petty cashier is having a balance of 6,000. The petty cashier will be reimbursed the amount that he spent, that you have to remember. Amount spent will be reimbursed to the petty cashier. Reimbursed means will be given back to the petty cashier by the main cashier. That means in the beginning of the next month, suppose all this happened in June, in the month of June. Beginning of next month means July 1st. What will be the balance amount with the petty cashier? Is it only 6,000? Balance is 6,000, but he was given the amount that he spent also. He spent 14, that was reimbursed by the main cashier. So, again in the beginning of the next month, he will be having 14 plus 6, 20,000 again. Understood? So, every month it will be like this. Because in the beginning of the period, an advance amount or estimated amount will be given. During the period, the petty cashier will spend this amount. Then later, at the end of the period, what he spent will be reimbursed to him. So, already he has a balance of 6,000 and what he spent also reimbursed to him. So, altogether 20,000 will be there with the petty cashier in the beginning of the next month. This system is called impress system. Paying advance in the beginning and giving the reimbursements or reimbursing them the amount spent. That is called impressed system. We are following impress system. What you have to do in problems is very easy. It's not so difficult. The explanation you may find it little bit difficult, but simple system means the actual amount is given. Impress system means the appropriate. Okay? Sorry, not the appropriate, the estimated amount. Now you write the heading, types of petty cash books. Types of petty cash book, systems are over. Next is types of petty cash book. The first type is simple petty cash book. You just write one sentence there. It is similar to simple cash book. Understood? Just like you prepared the single column or simple cash book, you have to do simple petty cash book. So, both are same. Simple petty cash book, you do not have to learn anything new. It is same just like simple cash book. The next thing you have to learn, the second type of petty cash book, that is analytical petty cash book. Give the heading, second one, analytical petty cash book. The difference is, again this cash book also will be having a receipt side, that means a debit side, and the credit side, that is the payment side. But the payment column, usually we will be having only one amount column, or there will be two if it is a double column, but not more than that. But in analytical petty cash book, depending on your expenses, you will be drawing separate columns, like separate column for conveyance, postage, stationery, telegram, then sundry expenses. Other than this, you can draw a separate column for sundry or miscellaneous expenses also. So, separate columns will be there for each and every expense. That is the speciality of analytical petty cash book. So, give the heading analytical petty cash book. We will work out one question, that is illustration number 12, page number 10.29, illustration number 12. Yes, for that, for drawing the format, you keep your book like this. That means in a horizontal way you keep the book, otherwise space won't be enough. See, it is little bit lengthy format. So, keep your book like this in a horizontal position, then you start drawing. Give the heading on the top, analytical petty cash book. So, I will draw the format now. The first one is receipts. Then we have a column for date, then voucher number, like in the actual format of cash book, particulars, total payments, these 5 columns will be common for every question. You have a receipts column, date, voucher number, particulars, total payments. This you can draw for every question. Rest, depending on the question, you will have to make slight changes. Go through the question. Which is the first expense given there? First is receipt for petty cash. That means the advance you got. It's not the expense. Then paid metro fare. So that is conveyance. 1 column for conveyance you need. Then 1 for cartage. Then for postage. Then paid wages. In the textbook, they have drawn a column like sundry expense. Sundry expense means again the miscellaneous expenses. So sundry expenses, it's not sundry, it is sundry, S-U-N-D-R-Y. You have to pronounce it as sundry expense, miscellaneous expense itself. So wages they have drawn or they have put into sundry expense. There is no problem even if you write the column heading as wages. Okay. Then paid for stationery you need 1. Then auto charges again into conveyance. Then repairs is there, bus fare. So depending on the expenses you have to draw separate columns. So you just see the columns given there. 1 is conveyance. No need to look into the answer. Read the question. From there itself you have to determine how many columns you need. 1 is conveyance. Then we need 1 for cartage. Then for stationery, postage, repairs, telephone expenses, then sundry or wages column you can write. So altogether 7 columns you have to draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so this is how you have to draw the format. Depending on the expenses, you have to draw columns after this. For that, you have to read the question. Now you write the column headings, this one. There is no order. If you want, you write cartage first, but better you follow the order. That means the first one is paid metro fare. That means the first one is conveyance. So you write conveyance as the first one. The next one is cartage. Otherwise you will miss out items. That's the problem. Postage. Then wages you can write as sundry or wages, that is fine. So that you will write at last. If it is sundry, you write it at last, as the last column. Then stationery, then auto charges again the conveyance, repairs you need, then the telephone expenses, finally it is the sundry or wages, S-U-N-D-R-Y. Now we will start the posting. This is the format. Though the format is lengthy, posting is very much easy than your double column and single column. The first one, Jan 1st receipt for petty cash. You got an amount of 10,000 that must come in your receipts column. It is on Jan 1st, 2020. There is no voucher number, that you leave blank. Amount is 10,000 and receipt for petty cash. This is for the expenses you have to meet. So you write it as 2 cash because you have to spend this 10,000. So that amount you received you write as 2 cash. With that you will start spending. Okay, this is not the paid amount, this is the receipt amount. So we wrote it in the receipts column. The next, all our expenses, all these will come on the other side, payment side now. Paid metro fare. So you write in your total payments column. You paid how much for metro fare? You have paid 50. You paid 50 as conveyance, and that you write paid metro fare, that is conveyance. So you write by conveyance, or you write by metro fare also, that is also fine. By conveyance, and the date for the transaction is Jan 2nd. Will anything appear in your receipt side? No. Now onwards everything will come on the payment side only, because all these are your payments. And you must write it as by conveyance, because what is the journal entry when you pay conveyance or when you pay metro fare? What is the journal entry? Metro fare account debtor or conveyance account debtor, 2 cash, isn't it? And the posting will be written like by conveyance. Same thing we are writing, but everything in one particulars column. We don't have 2 particulars column. everything in one column. So, all payments you write as by. Then specifically this 50 must be written in the column for conveyance. This is how you have to do the posting. The next is on Jan 2nd again, paid cartage. So, here you write Jan 2nd by cartage. It is 250 specifically. First you must write in total payments, then specifically you must write in cartage column 250. Then the next one is on Jan 3rd. All these will not appear in receipts. Jan 3rd by postage. By postage the amount is 500. In total payments, again in postage you have to write specifically. Then next is by wages on Jan 3rd. By wages, wages we can write in sundry column, that means towards the end you have drawn one column. This is 600 and final column you can write the same thing. Wages or sundry you have written, no, there you write. See, all these must come on the same line. When you write 500 here in total payments, same line in this column, which is this column. In that specific column postage, you must write that 500. So, like this you have to write each and every figure. The next will be like paid for stationery. So, you will write Jan 4 by stationery, amount first in 400 in total payments, then in stationery column. Okay. So, I am not writing this. I will show the last step. You have to complete till that all expenses you have to fill, you have to complete till telephone bill, specifically in total payments column, later in your specific columns also. After that, once you finish posting all expenses, after that what you have to do is, I will start from that last step now. I am not posting all other items because it is easy, you can do it yourself. After that what you have to do is, so that means you have to finish till Jan 6th transaction, that means till paid telephone bill you have to finish posting. Then what you have to do is, just draw a line starting from your total payments column. Just draw a line till the end, that means till sundry column, sundry expense column you have to draw. Okay, till sundry expense column you have to draw. Then add all these columns starting from total payments till the end, you add all these figures. Okay, so here it will be, after you finish writing, the totals will be these 650, then 950, then the next one is 400. Now, I am just copying from the textbook, but when you do, you have to do the calculations yourself. Just add all these columns, 1 200, 1 500, 200 and 600. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Then total payments column. Next what you have to do is, double line these columns, the specific columns which we drew for expenses, that you can double line now. Next what you have to do is, what will you do usually? You will find the debit side total, you will compare it with the credit side total, that is how you are finding the balancing figure. Same like that, you find the total on debit side now. The debit side means the receipt side. Receipt side you have a total of 10,000 and the credit side means, this is the credit side, the payment side is the credit side and the total is 500. That is the total of all payments. So, debit side is 10, credit side is 500, where you have a shortage. Credit side you have a shortage, here you have a shortage, there you must write the difference. The balancing figure you must write, that is 10,000 minus 500, the balancing figure is 4,500. Understood? Just like we do the double column and single column cash book, you have to find the balancing figure. So, compare your debit side and the credit side, find the difference, that you can write on the shortage side. It will be on payment side itself, the shortage. So, this will be written as by balance carried down. You can either write the month end, or since here they have given only 1 week's transaction. I told you, sometimes they will do for 1 week, sometimes for 2 weeks, sometimes for 1 month. Fortnight means 2 weeks. So, here they have done only for 1 week. So, it is better you write the date as the very next day, because they haven't completed 1 month. It is only 1 week's transaction, Jan 1 to 6 they have given. So, carry down figure date you can write for Jan 7th. Okay. Yes, so that is the balancing figure we got, and now we have to write the totals as usual. I mean, on both sides you have to write the same totals. The receipt side or the debit side and the credit side, we have to make it same. No totals, we will write the same figure. So, this is the first column is your receipt side. There also you write that 10,000. Understood? Same line you must write, minus I do not know whether it is on the same line. When you write 10,000 must come on the same line on both sides, the receipts column and the payment column. And as usual, double line your what? Double line your the total columns. Double line totals. Next, by balance carried down, you must transfer to the opposite side. So, from payment side, this should go to the receipt side. Which one? This balance carried down must go to the receipt side, and the date will be, it is Jan 7th itself. Okay, for balance carried down, you can give the last date. Brought down, you are taking to the beginning note. That means there you take the next day. Here you can give the last date itself. To balance brought down, will you write the amount here? No, already you have taken this 4,500 to the opposite side. That means to the receipt side you have written to balance brought down. It is not over, there is one more step. What is the meaning of impress system? Once they spent the amount, here what is the amount they spent? This is the amount they spent, 5,500. This is the balance they already have. With that, the petty cashier will be reimbursed, will be given the amount he spent, isn't it? So, the amount he spent is 5,500, that will be again reimbursed to him. So, you must write it as to cash, Jan 7th he will be given again. So, again this 5,500 will appear on the receipt side. That means in the beginning of the next day, Jan 7, on Jan 7 the petty cashier again having a total of 10,000. Beginning of Jan 1st also he had rupees 10,000 with him. Again he will be having the same, every month it will be like this, because the amount he spent 5,500 is reimbursed. That is why we have written to cash. These two are the balances which we have, this must come on the receipt side, not on the payment side. So, this is how you have to do the analytical petty cash book, just close till the end. Okay. So, the postings in between I have left some space, some portions I did not do. I mean the postings you have to do specifically in those columns. Specifically you have drawn like postage, stationery and all. So, in those columns you have to do the postings. Then rest, this is what you have to do. When you add the figures, just do all those calculations yourself. With this chapter is over. I mean cash book chapter is over. 3 different types you have to learn: single, double and the analytical petty cash book. Okay, with that chapter is over.